Hi everyone, here's my first little lesson on the next topic. Some of you have already completed ratios, but I thought that I would start from the beginning so that you had a clear set of notes for them. These notes simplify what's in the textbook with a few bits extra like I would do in a classroom. So let's start with an idea of what a ratio is. It shows the relationship between one or more quantities. In this case, we have a drink, a cordial, and it's made up in a ratio of 1:3. So if we have one lot of cordial, we want 3 lots of water. So if we wanted to make up 4 litres of drink, we would have 1 litre of cordial to 3 litres of water to make up a total of 4 litres. If we wanted to make up 400 millilitres of drink, we would have 100 millilitres of cordial and 300 millilitres of water. The colon is the mathematical symbol, that thing there, that tells us that we're working with a ratio. When it's written in this form, we read it as A to B, so 1:3, or A is to B, 1:3. Both mean the same thing. Now, with a ratio, order is important, so we have to be a little bit careful. In this case, this number here represents the cordial, and this number here represents the water. If we had it the other way around, we would be putting in too much cordial to water, unless, of course, we swap that as well. Now, in the case of ratios, both sides are assumed to have the same unit. So if I'm using millilitres on this side, I'm using millilitres on that side. If I'm using litres on this side, I'm using litres on that side. We can't mix them up. We can't have millilitres over here and litres over here. We'd have to convert them if that was the case. Now, we can create equivalent ratios, which is really handy later on, if we multiply or divide A and B by the same number. So if I wanted to know 400 millilitres, for instance, I could multiply this side by 100, that would make 100, and multiply this side by 100, that would give me 300, so 100 to 300 would make up 400 millilitres of cordial, or any other ratio that we chose to use. Look at this, I did it already. Better rub them out. Don't look. So the ratio of peanuts to macadamias to cashews, well, we have to do it in this order. So we try and look up here in the question. We want to have 5 cashews to 12 peanuts to 2 macadamias. And the next question asks us what's the ratio of cashews to total nuts. We have to find out how much we have total. So 14 plus 5 is 19, and we want cashews to total. Now, peanuts to other nuts, well, we have 12 peanuts, and we have 5 cashews and 2 macadamia nuts, so there would be 7 other nuts. You have to be really careful about how you read the question so that you answer it correctly. Oh, look, I've done it here too. Let's get rid of those annotations. So, when I'm answering a question like this, I tend to write them above each other because it helps me see it. And then I try and find a relationship between the pairs of numbers. So what would I multiply 4 by to get 16? Well, I'd multiply it by 4. If I multiply this side of a ratio by 4, I have to multiply that side of a ratio by 4 to find an equivalent ratio. So 4 times 4 is 16, 9 times 4 is 36. Doing the same thing over here. Now, to get from 15 to 5, I'm going to divide by 3. So if I divide this side by 3, I have to divide this side by 3 as well. And that's how you find an equivalent ratio. Now, if you could go to exercise 6a, it should be right underneath the link that I put on Connect for this. You will find the exercise that we'll complete in class. Please do all of them, and the answers are also attached. Thank you, everybody.